Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the campus of Rowan University for tonight's New Jersey Athletic Conference game with Stockton University. Tonight is Unified Sports Night at Rowan Basketball. Rowan Unified Sports Club is the partnership between special Olympics athletes and Rowan students competing together in an exclusive sports setting. Rowan Unified encourages people to not only play unified, but also to live unified. All people with respect. At halftime, we will be featuring an exhibition game of two unified basketball teams comprised of members of the club that was founded in 2012 and recognized as well by ESPN and Special Olympics as a Gator champion school. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the unified school. Then we today's first group Ospreys of Stockton. Starting with guard fighting team of Atlantic City, number 5, the Gerald. Also with guard fighting the sophomore from the over number 14, Natalie Miller. Guard fighting for freshman from number 30, Danny. And our forward fighting team from Lafayette, number 21, Eagle Peterson. And starting the forward fighting team from Pine Hill, number 32, Raquel Harris Scott. Stockton University head coach is Janet Jefferson.
Olivia Rulon, guard, Cape May Courthouse.
Nicole Byrne, guard from Brick, New Jersey.
Dominique Peters, guard, Lawrence, New Jersey.
Samantha Tello, guard, Elmwood Park, New Jersey.
Kaylin Seitzma, small forward, Northfield, New Jersey. Jenna Hoffner, forward, Medford, New Jersey.
Alexis Criley, guard, Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Julia Tobin, guard, Deptford, New Jersey.
Paige Caldwell, guard, Woodstown, New Jersey.
Taylor Gardner, forward, Plainfield, New Jersey.
I'm Kennedy Brown, a point guard from Newark, Delaware.
Jessica Beck, point guard, Glassboro, New Jersey.
Ayana Johnson, forward, Ewing, New Jersey.
Grace Marshall, guard, Haddon Township.
Jasmine Duverglass, forward, Hamilton, New Jersey.
At Rowan University, we are committed to a healthy, safe, and supportive community.
It's on us to create an environment where everyone feels and is safe.
To create an environment in which sexual assault is unacceptable.
Sexual violence is more than just a crime against individuals.
It threatens our families. It threatens our communities.
It's on us to do something about it.
To hold our friends accountable for their actions.
To stop being a bystander to the problem of sexual assault.
When we see something wrong, we should not look the other way.
1 in 4 women,
1 in 16 men,
will experience some form of sexual assault during their college career.
It's on us to look out for one another.
To recognize that sex isn't sex unless you have consent.
To get a friend home, safe.
Less than 5% of rapes are reported to law enforcement.
It's on us to support survivors of sexual violence.
And to never blame them.
To start the conversations that are difficult.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
It's on us to promote a culture of respect.
To treat women with respect.
To treat men with respect.
It's on us, all of us, to stop sexual assault.
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
Good evening and welcome to Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM's live coverage of women's basketball. Joe Stauffenberg here alongside Brandon Herson. Brandon, a crucial matchup for the Profs. Not only are the Profs the #1 seed in the NJAC right now, but are going to face Nice team that you'd think that the Profs should get a win, but can't be scared of a trap game, right?
No, and this is the type of game that you absolutely need to win. You can't let a team lower in the conference, especially when you're fighting for position in the playoff spot. You can't let a lower team just beat you like that. So this is a very big win for them today.
The must-needed victory as the Profs quickly get it inside to Olivia Rowan. Ball cannot bounce around in. Here goes the Ospreys the other way. Stockton University, home of the Ospreys, as a three's banged home quickly by Natalie Miller. For the rest of the Ospreys, it's Legero, right? April Peterson, Emily Donzanti, and Raquel Harris-Scott, as they're in the all-black uniforms with the white Stockton lettering across the front as a three-pointer, no good for Dominique Peters. Dominique Peters, one of the starters, hasn't started the past few games, but two or three of the last couple of them getting the start and coming in crucial spots. Brandon, go over the other starters for this Profs team.
We have Kennedy Brown, number 10, number 11, Alex Criley, number 12, Dominique Peters, number 13, Olivia Roulon, and number 25, Ayanna Johnson.
No Ayanna Johnson last game. Much needed victory was the Profs jumped out to a huge lead in the first quarter against Ramapo last game. Could not get it done. Or did get it done, as Ospreys can't finish there right at the rim. Score is still 3-0 as the Profs look to set things up. Kennedy Brown passes to Peters. She's taking the first few shots of the game. She misses. A rebound by Ayanna Johnson, no good. Tried to get another offensive rebound. That time was Dominique Peters. Could not get it. Hoffner was in place of Johnson in the starting lineup. Grabbed 9 rebounds last game against Ramapo, as that one airballs from Stockton.
And the Profs look a little slow to start. You want to see them maybe slow a couple things down, get a couple plays going, kind of get into that rhythm. Stockton's up 3-0 right now.
Stockton, when you look at it, the NJAC matchup, only 2-11 this year in conference opponents, as Kennedy Brown gets the first points on the board for the Profs. It's a three-pointer. That one goes in.
And you mentioned that Stockton's 2-11 in conference play, and it's actually funny that Rowan, the Profs, are actually 11-2 in conference play.
Total opposite seasons for this Stockton and Rowan team. You have to look at the head coaching matchup with a vet in the business with Coach Gabby Lasella in her 19th season. Devin Jefferson in her first season at Stockton. So a couple of diverse coaches when it comes to amount of years being this head coach for each team. And it's a huge difference as Brown drives into the paint, could not get it done. Pass quickly out to Natalie Miller. They only have 2 scorers right now or at least one for each team. Both have hit threes. Miller was one of them for the Ospreys, as ball, it looked like an arm was hit as the ball flies over the backboard. And it looks like Emily Donzanti will go to the line, the freshman from Toms River, New Jersey. First one up and no good. Actually is good, excuse me. As Johnson's going to take a seat, Hoffner comes in.
And Donzati's actually the second leading scorer on this Stockton team. She's averaging 12.5 points a game, and she knocks down the second free throw there to make it 5-3 Stockton.
It must be so tough sometimes for head coach Lasella, because Johnson sometimes has a little bit tough time staying on the ground and staying put. Already earned her first foul as the layup was no good by Rowan. It's quickly turned over by the Ospreys, which it's quickly been moved right into the bench. I mean, Hoffner's an absolute great piece off the bench when it comes to production, but Johnson's the one that's been getting done with the rebounds game after game. Third in the NJAC currently with 9.2 rebounds per game. As they give it inside to Dominique Peters. That one's gonna get a friendly roll and a rim in.
Another thing about Hoffner coming off the bench is not only is she a good rebounder and a good piece off the bench, but she makes a lot of plays happen with her passing abilities, and that's something you look for coming off the bench, not just rebounding, but being able to make plays.
Team does a very good job in the top half of the NJAC with assists. As Miller looks around, gets in the way was Rowan, but it will be off of her foot. It's a kickball.
And going back to Ayanna Johnson, you know, a lot of times when you have players like that that play very physical inside, you can see often that they can get into foul trouble early.
Just a tough play for Johnson. She's going to have to take it and has to stay put. Obviously from now until the end of the game. But a substitution for the Profs coming in is Nicole Byrne. Criley last touched out of bounds as the loose ball right at half court. But we were just talking a little bit before the game as Nicole Byrne last few games has been really lighting it up for the Profs. Been the sixth off the bench and has been a crucial role player. Already earned her spot first in the NJAC with 3-point percentage, 42.5%. Going in, driving in, getting the no bucket. A walk is called from Marissa DeLeo. But as again, we were talking before game, no Grace Marshall out there for, I don't know if it's going to be this season or not. She is in a boot, but it's going to be interesting to see what role Byrne plays for the rest of the season. As kick over to Rowan, driving baseline floater, good.
And Marshall was a big part of this team, you know, rebound. She really did it all, you know, a lot of the stats that you don't see. She's a very good teammate, and it's going to be a big loss, but there's a very deep bench for the Profs, so hopefully they can step it up, and I think they will.
Freshman from Belmar, New Jersey, hasn't played since 2018. See if she can make it back as a step back three, no good from DeLeo. Rebounded by Rowan. Rowan not starting the game against TCNJ in the last few games. Got to start at Ramapo. One of the leaders for the team in points. As a layup is good there for Stockton. It's a tie ball game. All knotted up at 7. Rowan, far wing, give to Hoffner at the point, to Byrne. Back to Peters now, back to Rowan on the same spot. Looked like she hasn't moved as a pass cross court to Brown. She gets it taken away, trying to split 2 defenders. Thrown away there was Harris Scott as Harris Scott takes 1-2 steps as the layup's no good. Rebounded by Rowan once again. On the other side, Peters to Byrne, thought about a 3. Instead kicks back to Peters, back to Brown. As she's going to set up a shot right at the point. To Byrne, corner 3. That one's no good, but a good-looking shot, Brandon.
Yeah, she has a pure stroke from the 3-point line, and she's going to make a lot more than she misses, so she'll get definitely one to fall by the end of this game.
Elbow floater, no good. As here comes Brown with it. Byrne with the rebound. Give up to Rowan. That one's good. And that's a play that you love to see. High energy, quickly turning a miss into 2 points. It's a 30-second timeout. We're going to keep things here.
It's a very unselfish play by Kennedy Brown, too, running the fast break as she finds Rowan for the open layup.
That's one of the things I think that goes underestimated in her game is the court vision. When she gets the rebound or gets that first pass off of a rebound, she's immediately looking up and she can see something even before it happens, and obviously saw Rowan there for an easy 2 points.
The thing with Kennedy Brown is she is a high energy player. She grabs the board. She's always looking for outlet passes. She's always trying to run the floor. And that fits into a lot of the things that the Profs try to do with this team. They try to get ball movement, they try to run the court, and that's why they've been so successful this season.
Definitely successful. 13-7 overall, 11-2 in the NJAC. Right now, first, and has at least a 1-game lead on TCNJ, 2-game lead on Rutgers Newark. As it's stolen away by the Profs. Here comes Rowan, puts it in once again for 2 points. Early on, Olivia Rowan with 6. DeLeo calling out a play, Burns on her. DeLeo's gonna take a screen, then go the other way. Opposite pass as it's stolen away. Olivia Rowan comes up with it.
That was a great play by Byrne to be able to read the lane, know that the player was going to dive to the basket and picked off the pass.
That wasn't an easy one as DeLeo took the screen. She thought she was going to go right, but instead cuts left. But right there, Dominique Peters travels, and we've seen it a lot this year of Dominique Peters traveling, but I think sometimes you'll take it because she's trying to be aggressive. I mean, you won't obviously take the turnover, but
yeah,
you want her to stay aggressive. The past couple games, she's really been helping the Profs to wins.
Yeah, and, you know, she's a gifted scorer, you know, mid-range three-pointer. She can do it all, so that's why you don't mind when she's aggressive on offense, because you know she can put the ball in the basket. You're going to get a few turnovers here and there, but it's well worth it.
DeLeo around, going to the right, and putting it in for 2. Getting some contact as well. Whistle stays silent. Still 11-9. Profs have the lead, 2:25 left to go in the opening quarter. Byrne kicking to Brown. Brown in the near corner, back to Byrne. Peters to Rowan in the corner for 3. That one's good. 9 points for Olivia Rowan's got a couple rebounds as well.
Such a quick release on that three-pointer. Defender right in her face, and she just lets it fly.
Quickly over to Peterson as they get it up court. We haven't really mentioned Peterson's name as a foul called on the Profs.
I think it's going to be 3 shots, too.
Yeah, it did look like it from our angle that it was behind the three-point arc. So Lajera Wright will shoot 3, the junior from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Trying to put 3 points on the board for Stockton. There's one.
And Dominique Peters seems to just be rushing it a little bit to start off the game. You want her to kind of like settle down. She can score at will. She doesn't need to force things. And you definitely don't need to be fouling three-point shooters because it's just not a recipe for success.
We saw it last night, at least I did. I was watching the Pelicans Rockets game. There's a few of them where everybody was getting fouled beyond the arc, and that's ultimately maybe what cost the Rockets last night in an upset in Houston, as 3 points are put in from Wright.
Might be the last win from the Pelicans in a while if they trade Davis.
Man, that storyline is very interesting. As you know, Drew Holiday says AD was 90% of why he re-signed. Talking a little bit more about that is they give it to Seitzma to Rowan, talking about a quick release, and there it is. Stroking it from beyond the arc there. Olivia Rowan's feeling it here in the first quarter.
And like we said before, her release is just so quick. Doesn't matter how close the defender gets. She can just snap it and let it go.
Over to DeLeo, near court. Trying to bounce around as she went up to the high key and then went inside. A steal by Byrne. They gave right to Hoffner. The ball went right through Byrne's legs, but I think they'll credit her with the steal there.
And Byrne has been all over the Stockton's offense right now.
Inside the Hoffner, yes! 19-12 as we approach the end of the first quarter, about a minute left in the first quarter. As the ball sails wayward, trying to get it up court, goes right into the arms of Kaylin Seitzma. Brown at the high point, calling out a play. Took a tiny screen from Seitzma as that drop-off pass to Byrne. They tried to give it off to Rowan. Rowan loaded up for 3, but the basket did not count. Man,
I don't know about that one.
Rowan looked over to the sideline. I believe that's April Simzik. Last year, big for rebounds. Coming back supporting her former team. 19-12, under a minute left. That bucket would have been good, and that would have been 15 points in the first quarter for Olivia Rowan. She still has a chance to get it, though. Possibly more as a kick out to right. That one's no good. Great box out from Seitzma as we're calling over the back, going the other way. You see that inside with Seitzma. Wow.
Just the little things, just fundamental little things that help the team win. And she has the bigger player over her back, but you know the key was the box out, and that's how she was able to grab the rebound and also get the foul.
You're right with fundamentals. That's one of the things that they really teach you, obviously, when you first start playing basketball. One of the things is to shoot, obviously, but that's also got to be one of the first things to do is try to get the rebound.
Yeah, you can't win in any league if you don't have fundamentals down. It's so important to the game of basketball.
Turnover as it's quickly brought back to the Profs. Shot clock's unplugged, 8 on the game clock. Byrne is going to drive in, get some contact. That one no good. Hoffner saves it, but they say the ball was knocked out of bounds anyway. Profs will set up here with 3.8.
You might want to get a screen for Rowan so she get open on the three-point line, maybe get a last-second shot.
And they try it. Last effort, no good from Rowan. As the buzzer sounds, it was quickly rebounded by Stockton. But you're right there. You got to feed the hot hand with Olivia Rowan.
Exactly.
Ending that first quarter, 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, 12 points total, and leads the team in points to end the first quarter. We're going to take a quick break. We get back in second quarter action. Let's see if Olivia Rowan can keep the hot streak up right here on Rowan Radio 89.7 at WGLS FM.
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
Saturday, we will be in Montclair State right after the Rock and Roll Jamboree. It's actually a shortened Rock and Roll Jamboree as Mark Acitelli and Gary Erdely will be out in Montclair State, which will be a pivotal matchup. But right now, we still got to stay here in Esby Gymnasium. Thank goodness it's warm. You're listening to Rowan Radio. Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. Joe Stauffenberg here alongside Brandon Herson. Greg still in our WGLS studio. Props ended the first quarter with the lead. We'll try to hold it here in the second as Stockton could not get the layup to go. It's 19-12. As quickly Olivia Rowan gets it back, but a block from right. With the ball right back to the process, was knocked out of bounds. Good shot though from Olivia Rowan, got some space. Last minute though, Wright came in and blocked it. Byrne inbounds it. Criley give to Seitzma. Seitzma faked the pass and then went the other way. Byrne back to Seitzma, drop off to Criley at the high point. She calls out a play as Seitzma looks around, finds Rowan on the far wing. Seitzma back to Rowan, 8 on the shot clock. Step back 3, thought about it. Give out to Byrne, 4 on the shot clock. Byrne, hook, no good. Rebounded with 1 second left on the shot clock. Stockton ball as they throw it down court. Received by Flournoy, but quickly turned over. It's Pross ball.
Another travel there.
Seen a lot of early turnovers. It's one of the things you're definitely going to have to cut down here, at least in the second quarter or the second half.
Yeah, Stockton has 9 turnovers right now compared to Rowan's 6 turnovers, and that's going to be a big key to the game. If Stockton keeps turning the ball over, it's not going to be a very close game at the end.
A lot of NJAC basketball going on tonight. We'll get to in a bit. Byrne thought about sizing up for a 3 on the near wing. Instead, passed to Criley. Criley trying to drive baseline. Could not. Hoffner burned to roll on to Peters, who was wide open for the three. They noticed as Peters drove in, kicked out to Hoffner, back to Byrne. Three, no good. It rims out. It literally was in. Back out, but an offensive rebound. Hoffner saves it. It's back out to Criley to start things up once again. Peters thought about a three. Working on defense, Nordalus got some space back as Byrne hits from three. Great job from Peters trying to get some space and full defense as she drove in and then kicked out to an open Byrne for three.
What Peters did right there, she broke down the defense as defense had to collapse from the perimeter, and that's what let Byrne get open for the three on the outside.
Nordalus goes in, gets the foul. Peters hacked her just a little bit before missing the bucket. As I said, with the NJAC action tonight. Rutgers Newark going to William Patterson right now. They're losing 19-6 as there's about a minute left in the first quarter. First free throw up and good. It's a 9-point lead. Second quarter action at New Jersey City as they are down 6 to Montclair State, to visiting Montclair State. It's 2 for 2 there. Ramapo visiting Kane. They just started up. They had a 3-point lead over Kane, which Kane, by the way, getting a new logo for the K. Really nice, really interesting. Criley driving baseline, kicking out the Byrne for three. That one hits off back iron as Rowan gets the rebound. Floater, no good. Another offensive rebound. Criley kisses it off the glass and in. And last but not least, TCNJ, team that right behind Rowan, currently leading Rutgers, Camden, and Ewing, New Jersey, 38-23. Ball tipped off of Dominique Peters' hands, goes right into the Rowan bench as Stockton will take over. Rowan beating TCNJ, a crucial matchup last Wednesday. Very low scoring, 47-46. Is a great takeaway from Dominique Peters. He's going coast to coast. Got the foul, couldn't get the layup, but Peters will go to the line for two, trying to make it a 12-point game.
They say pick your pocket. She actually picked her pocket right there. Stole the ball right from her and then took it down the court and draw the contact.
Would have been even better if she could have netted that one. It would have been an and one.
3-point play.
Still though, you'll still take an opportunity at the line. That was actually a very good foul by Stockton, trying to make Dominique Peters earn her points at the line. She does for her first.
And Peters only a 61% free throw shooter from the line this season. That's
been probably the Achilles heel right now for the Profs, as Peters nails 2 for 2. Only shooting 58% from the line. That's 9th best in the NJAC out of 10 teams.
And it would surprise you considering how well the Profs' record is that they're that poor at shooting free throws, but they get it done in other ways.
Finding other ways to win as a foul called. I believe that one occurred inside on Jenna Hoffner. That's going to be her second. Inbounding it, Don Zanti out to right.
I was just about to say, if Hoffner picks up another foul, you might see Ayanna Johnson. Ayanna Johnson sits down on the sideline ready to check in.
Takeaway by Criley as a jump ball called. Staying with Rowan. As there's Johnson coming in for Hoffner right on cue, Brandon.
Yeah, you don't want Hoffner picking up that third foul, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, before the second half. Just under 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Profs up 12. Byrne, Johnson, Criley, Peters, Rowan out for the Profs as they swing it around to Peters. Wright, Miller, Don Zanti, Flournoy, and Brady out there is a missed layup for Rowan. Brady now driving, blocked by Johnson. We'll call jump ball. Brady and Rowan was in there. Possession arrow staying with the Ospreys. We'll credit Johnson with that block. Looked like a team block with Rowan and Johnson, but
looked like volleyball players standing at the net.
Yeah. But I do think that Johnson was the one who had the slap on the ball more than Olivia Rowan. Checking into the game. Kennedy Brown coming in for a burn. Pass out to Miller. Miller spinning around, trying to get off of Rowan. They throw it inside off of a great play as the layup good from Flournoy. Thought about the foot, maybe was on the line. Instead she stays in. Pass out to Rowan for an open corner three. And a air ball, rare miss coming from Olivia Rowan, open in the corner.
She might have been a little too quick with that release that time.
She does have a quick release, but yeah, you're right, a little quick release as back-to-back air balls. Now Miller with it as they reset.
Someone left the door gym open.
Just a little bit, the wind must be blowing in.
It's so cold outside, it's coming in.
5 on the shot clock, Wright looking around. Dribbles, takes it in the paint. Great defense by Criley. Hits off of the rim and out. Rebounded by Peters. Brown has it on the near wing. Give inside to Peters. Get some contact. Couldn't get the layup to go. And quickly, Stockton with a 2-on-1. Give up to Wright as Rowan will foul Wright. Wright will go to the line for 2. Still a 10-point game. 26-16. 5:15 left to go in the second quarter. 3 for 3 already at the line is Wright. As appears Jessica Beck will look to check in for the Profs here in Esby Gymnasium. For tonight, Rowan Unified Sports Night. Awesome thing that they do here. It always happens at least once or twice. There's actually going to be a unified scrimmage during halftime, so that's going to be something awesome to watch. 1 for 2 at the line is Wright.
First missed free throw of the game for both teams. Both teams are shooting 100% before the shot.
Criley, 3, no good. Rebounded by Peters. Turning garbage in the gold as she puts it in for 2.
And Rowan has 6 offensive rebounds. They're getting a lot of second chance points tonight. That's important.
And that full court press, as we always talk about, there to create the steal. Ayanna Johnson with it as she gave up to Beck as she took it up. After a tip, she lost it. Criley to Brown. They quickly reset with 15 on the shot clock. Peters on the elbow. Drop off to Beck. Thought about a 3. Over to Criley. Criley, mid-ranger. She got fouled. It looked like Criley did lean into a little bit of contact. But leaning or not, you have to let the shooter come down.
Exactly, and in today's game of basketball, most of the time that foul call is going to go favor the offensive player. It's just an offensive game today, and it's exactly why she got the foul right there.
And speaking of that Hornets and Pelicans game, right at the end, it was almost the same thing, except it was a 3-point attempt by James Harden, go figure,
yeah,
as Criley nets her first. He took the 3, and they called a foul. And I don't know who was defending, but it was basically the same thing where they didn't let him come down. But it showed a replay. Defender turned around and basically went down to the ground. They still called a foul as Harden hit the deck. Criley went 2 for 2 at the line.
And that's a dangerous play if you don't let the offensive player land on his feet. You know, you can roll your ankle very easily, and I've been there a couple of times, and it's not a good feeling when you do that.
Quick foul called on the Profs. Shot clock reset to 30. Brown with her first. We're going to reach in there. Donzanti with it. Defense played by Beck. Pop up from Miller, three-pointer, good. Defending the three-point arc is going to be crucial for the rest of this game, as Miller is just going to keep trying to fire from beyond the arc.
And Stockton keeps this game at a 10-point game. They not going away just yet, trying to keep it inside of 10.
As Criley, mid-range shot, no good. They get it up court. Harris Scott peels off instead of going to the bucket. Kick out to Miller for three. That one's good.
Someone's definitely got to step out to Miller. You can't let her take wide open threes like that. That's her game right there.
Absolutely not. Right now, the Profs are worst in the NJAC with defending beyond the arc as Beck tries to answer. No good. An offensive rebound by Peters. Johnson put up a layup, and that one's no good. Rebound it for Flournoy. Miller 9 points leading the Stockton Ospreys team. 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. He's gotten all of our points there tonight. As they know that Miller's going to keep shooting, they double teamed her for a couple of seconds. She rises once again for three. That one is airballed. They're saying that Coach LaSalle was looking around, saw Beck on the ground. She did get tripped, maybe trying to go for the rebound, but they let it go, and ball rolls out of bounds. It's still Prof's ball.
And that was a good closeout by Peters to really get in the face of Millie, not let her take any more wide open threes. So that was a very good closeout.
As they get it over to the near corner, Criley. Cross-court pass to Peters, spotting up for three. That one swishes through. What a shot there from Dominique Peters from beyond the arc. Trying to get back to double digits. They do right there, 33-23. No look pass. Good shot coming from Flournoy. Mid-ranger is a good way to fake out the defense as well, as nobody was on Flournoy. Nobody was covering Brown there as she drove to the right side of the paint, and everybody was inside the paint. They didn't even want to step out just a little bit to try to contest Kennedy Brown's shot.
It's almost like they forgot about on that play, and you can't forget about Kennedy Brown on the offensive side of the ball.
A turnover there, forced one by the Profs. A steal by from Criley, is spinning around. Brown couldn't get the shot to go. Offensive rebound by Peters as she puts it in.
Just another offensive rebound for the Profs. They're 8th of the night compared to Stockton's third, only 3 offensive rebounds, and that's what's really killing Stockton right now.
Second chance points, 9 for Rowan, only 4 for Stockton. Driving in, no basket from Peterson as she got the rebound, and they say it was a double dribble. Profs will take over underneath the basket. Peters, Criley, Seitzma, Rowan, and Byrne. And for the Profs, (37-25) with 1:18 left to go in the second quarter. Criley coming down the court, calling out a play. Goes to the near wing. Peters now Rowan on the far wing. Goes to the high point as Peters is going to spot up for three. That one's no good. A good look, could not bury it. Nordalus looking around, and they get it up court to Wright. Wright passing over to Donzanti. Into Nordalus. It's actually on the elbow. Pass back to Donzanti. Inside the Nordalus, a little bit too ahead with that pass. That one goes out of bounds. Profs retake possession.
Stockton's been trying to feed Nordalus inside the whole game. They just haven't really gotten that perfect pass off the pick and roll yet. Maybe they'll keep trying in the second half, but it hasn't worked yet.
That's been something that they've been trying to get, not just with Nordalus, but just inside the whole entire time. But the interior defense by the Profs not letting them have anything. 3 fired by Rowan. Another offensive rebound, this time Seitzma. Rowan over Criley. Seitzma now back over to Criley once again. I like the high point about, it's actually the shot clock is going quicker than the game clock. as it will expire before the game clock as Dominique Peters goes in. Could not. Shot clock unplugged now as a rebound from Nordalus. 3 seconds left. Donzanti over the long range two is good. Coming from Harris Scott, a
shooter's touch.
Yes, definitely. It was a quick shot as they ended the quarter on a good note on making the buzzer-beating shot, but look at it as a whole, down by 10 here going into the second half. Not a good way for Stockton for this game.
Yeah, and you know, Stockton's really kept the game within that 10-point margin the whole time, and of course getting the buzzer beater right there is going to make it 37-27 right now. Profs, but the Profs have looked good to start, you know, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've gotten a lot of steals, especially reading the lanes on that pick and roll play from Stockton. They've gotten a lot of steals, and of course that's led to a couple fast break points today. And really the big contributor today is Olivia Rowan.
Yeah, she's been doing it all, especially a lot of things beyond the arc. 12 points, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. You also have to look at the points off turnovers. 17 compared to only 4 of Stockton. You know, we talk about a lot of second chance points, but I mean, right now, points off of turnovers, a lot of steals, a couple of blocks here and there, and just the ability to say, you know what, instead of you trying to get points, we're going to get it instead.
Yeah, exactly. And if the Props really just keep the same game plan they did in the first half, I don't really see this. Maybe I don't really see a comeback coming out of Stockton. The Props defense has just been very impressive on steals and blocks. So maybe a close game if they can knock down some more three-pointers in the second half, but I just don't see it.
You stick this, you stay with the way that you're playing already, everything looks shaping up to be a victory. We're going to take a step off. We're going to send things back to Greg Steele to the WGLS studio. He's got our halftime report. Profs up by 10 going into the second half. You're listening to Rowan Radio 89.7 at WGLS FM. one, Grant, if you want. Send it back after this. Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM as we approach the start of the second half. Score 37-27. Rowan has the 10-point lead. Joe Stoppenberg here alongside Brandon Herson. Now, Brandon, we went over a lot of stuff that went right for the Profs, but what did they do wrong that you really need to see improvement for the second half?
Well, really, just in order to prevent a comeback from Stockton, you really just want to close out on their three-point shooters, especially a three-point shooter like Miller, who was 3 for 5 in the first half. So you definitely don't want her to get going even more. So really, they didn't do too many things wrong. You just want to prevent the three-point shot from Stockton.
Well, she is out there with Donzanti, Peterson, Harris, Scott, and right to start the second half, Criley, Peters, Brown, Johnson, and Rowan out there to start this second half. Joe Stoppenberg, once again, Joe Stoppenberg here with Brendan Herson. Big thank you to Greg Still for the halftime report. Profs still up by 10 after a couple of turnovers to, all right, a turnover, just one to start for Rowan. Gives it to the Ospreys to get it inside. Blocked by Peters on Peterson. Get it out of here. That came quick. The shot came up quick, and Peters reacted very quickly to it. It was actually, scratch it, it's going to be a foul.
I think they might have gotten her on the second, after the first block attempt. On the second one, they got her.
First shot up and first shot good for Harris. Scott finished the first half with only 2 points, a few rebounds, a steal. Second one in as well. Brown pushing things. Gets it out to Peters, who had a wide open lane and saw that Rowan was open on the three-point mark, but quickly closed out and going the other way, put up a shot. That one's no good. An offensive rebound. They tried to kick it outside, could not. Stolen away by Brown. Brown outside to Criley. Criley thought about going inside, waits, and finds Brown. Rowan was calling for it. The opposite side, they give it a wide open Peters. Never a good idea, but she misses there. It's a rebound by Donzanti. A little cold to start this second half. Are the Profs, actually both teams only making one shot in the minute and a half as last touch by the Ospreys. It looked like Peterson and Rowan were going for the ball, but quickly last touch by Peterson.
It kind of reminds me of the start to the game. You know, both teams started off a little slow. Start the game, a few turnovers, missed shots at the rim. I'm kind of seeing the same thing to start the second half.
Peters will inbound on the near side. And we'll give to Brown. Brown's been primarily the ball carrier up court for most possessions. They say last touch by Rowan.
Peters comes up limping a little bit on that last play. Definitely don't want to see her go down with any kind of injury.
We did see her on the sidelines for a couple of games during the middle of the season, but obviously back on the court now and really lighting things up from not just field, from beyond the arc and on the defensive side as well. Drop off to Peterson. Looked around, thought about right instead, gives to Donzanti with 9 on the shot clock, puts it up, blocked by Johnson. Still shot clock rolling, 5 on there too, as the ball's gonna roll out of bounds. Believe it's gonna be before the shot clock goes off. Yes, it's very close. Does go out of bounds.
Regardless, Stockton wouldn't have had any time at all to get a shot up.
Absolutely not. It was getting there very close. They give it inside to Peters. Spins around, gives out to Rowan for three. That one could not get the friendly roll.
It's the same rim that Stockton got the friendly roll on at the end of the first half.
Just could not fall as a defensive rebound from Alexis Criley. He's pushing things now to 3-on-2. Is Criley using the Euro step to get around the defender? Didn't have much effort to get it in. Brown saved it from going out of bounds. It went right to an Osprey defender as the layup no good. An offensive rebound from Harris Scott. The layup no good from Molly Collins. She's got it now and passes out. Quickly set back up from Donzanti.
We're still stuck at 37-29. Both teams have not scored in a while.
3 minutes elapsed here in the third quarter. As the shot was put up, Peterson, it was no good. So she will go to the line for two. Looking to check in is Seitzma and Hoffner.
And Stockton as a team was 8 of 9 from the free throw line in the first half. So you're going to want to continue on with that same success in the second half in order to stop the clock and get back in the game against the Profs.
Shot no good. The senior from Lafayette, New Jersey, 5'10" senior, leads the team in points per game, field goal percentage, and rebounds. Obviously showing not why she doesn't lead the team in free throw percentage as she misses the two there. Seitzma to Rowan. Rowan looking around, finding Brown. Thought about a three in the corner and she traveled. Trying to move quickly as the travel bug now going around to other members of the team. Listening to Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS-FM Glassboro. Joe Stauffenberg here alongside Brandon Hurst and Greg Still, WGLS studio. Profs have the 37-29 lead, 6.5 left to go in the third quarter. And the shot was no good. It was a rebound by Wright. She put it right back up, and that one's good. It's a 6-point lead. Interestingly enough, Profs sticking with the full court press as they go up the court as Seitzma, mid-ranger, no good. Even when they miss, they're still going at that full court press. And when Rowan's coming up court, nobody is even getting close to him as Seitzma with the blocking foul.
And the Profs just don't seem to have that kind of energy that they had in the first half. They look a little slow out of the gates here. And you definitely don't want that because Stockton can come back in this game. It's 37-31. It's the last thing you want to do, have it be a close game in the end.
A 25-point victory for the Profs last time out against the Ospreys in early December. A takeaway by the Profs gives it a chance to get a bucket, try to get their first bucket on the board in the second half. It's good. Jenna Hoffner inside with a little sky hook and put in for two. She's seen a lot of minutes because of sometimes of the foul trouble that Ayanna Johnson gets into on quality minutes. As Wright goes up, blocked by Hoffner, or if not a block, a great defense, but Harris Scott goes up. That one's not blocked, it's actually a foul. We'll go to the line for two.
Ayanna Johnson and Hoffner have played the same amount of minutes, but Hoffner's 2 for 2 in her field goal attempts, while Ayanna Johnson's over 2. So you're really just, if you're the coach, you're really just riding the hot hand right now, trying to get more points on the board for the Profs.
And we know how Coach Lasella likes to, sometimes go to her bench, for the most part, go to her bench very early, especially if foul trouble. You don't want to run into the foul trouble at the end, always keeping fresh bodies as well. Going 1 for 2 at the line. That trip, Harris Scott. Rowan over to Brown. Brown looking around, finding Rowan for 3. No good. The top of the key. It's only 2 points right now for the Profs. As It's about 5 minutes elapsed halfway through this third quarter. Tough stretch for both teams, too. You got to look at the Ospreys. They only scored 5 points, 39-32, as the floater is good right at the free throw line.
You might see Coach Lascelles maybe call a timeout in a little bit, especially if the Profs can't get anything going on offense.
Especially if another one hits on the other end. Can't let this lead go anywhere. A lot of sloppy play, including that play. Criley finally had possession of it. Rowan back to Criley. Mid-ranger no good. And rebounded by Stockton. Comes Collins on the far wing. Stockton really giving the Profs a run for their money here. Right now, ninth in the NJAC. Stockton looking for their third NJAC victory, coming off of a loss to William Patterson, 53-46 in Galloway. Peterson had 14 points, 13 rebounds.
You may look to get Peters back out there and try to get a boost of offense real quick, because the Rowan Profs are just stagnant right now in offense. They're only 1-7 to start out this third quarter.
Don Zanti takes a screen. Goes to the near wing. Collins has it on the far wing. Elbow jumper, air balls. As that one be turned over. 4:17 left to go in the third quarter. This would easily be their lowest scoring quarter of the year, despite the Tufts matchup where they didn't score any in the first quarter. As a foul will be called on Stockton. Hoffner fell to the floor, but it might have been a help from Peterson, who will take a seat with 3 fouls. So far, that was Stockton's only first foul of the quarter. Meanwhile, Rowan has 4 of them. Seitzma looking around, finding Criley. Brown on the near wing. Brown's going to go to the middle with the high point. Thought about taking a screen. She finally does for Seitzma. She waited on it as Hoffner goes up and could not get the bucket. Take the lid off the rim, please. As Nordelus finally gets it up court, but it's quickly stolen away by Hoffner as they get it right back. As they're going to call a foul. Hoffner with another one, maybe her third. Now comes into question. We see Ayanna Johnson back in.
You almost might think she should, get a different look out there right now. She's just got to get something going. You got to spark the team.
Collins will shoot 2. Right at the line. That one's up and good.
She hits this free throw right here. It's a one possession game.
Crazy to think, and it is now, because at one point leading by 12, 14 points, and now lead cut to only 3.
And they've cut the lead to 3 without even taking any three-pointers. It's all been inside.
Only 1 bucket here in this third quarter. He's going up with it. Being fouled was Brown. Nordelus will head to the line, or excuse me, got her first foul of the game. She came in for Peterson. Brown can't hit her first free throw. If things aren't going the way in the third quarter, you just got to hope that the fourth quarter, that lid is taken off. And the second one, no good as well.
I don't even know what to say. Unpredictable coming out of the first half. Did not expect this at all from the Profs.
Only 3 field goals have been made. Make it 4 have been made in this third quarter. It's a 1-point game, 3 of them coming from Stockton. Dominique Peters over Rowan. Rowan taking the screen, taking 2 screens from Peters. Peters trying to get some separation. Back to Rowan. There's a tip on the pass, so it slowed up the play. Pass out to Seitzma. Drop off to Criley. Criley's going to head to the net as the pass right through the hands of Peters, but she quickly got it back. 5 on the shot clock. Over Criley. She's driving the baseline. She had to put up a shot as like that. You couldn't get the friendly roll, but she did get fouled. Going to the line, Alexis Criley.
Yeah, if you're the Stockton defense, you don't want to bail out the offensive player on a last-second foul. You know, you just don't want to see that. Shot clock's about to expire. Probably going to miss the shot when you're chucking it up at the last second, so not what you want if you're Stockton.
Criley up and good, so
it's got to be a sigh of relief.
First time in a long time seeing the ball going through the net. It's only 1 made field goal, 1 for 3 at the line this quarter.
And Stockton's 5 for 8 from the line, so you can really see the difference right there, and it's why Stockton has gotten themselves back into this game in the third quarter.
Couple substitutions. There's going to be 1 substitution. Byrne checking in.
I think what the profs need to do, I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive trapping in the backcourt. You know, they've been successful all season with that. And I think if they're just a little bit more aggressive at jumping the lanes and trying to get those passes, they can easily force some turnovers.
Right on the far wing. Takes a screen from Nordalus, 9 on the shot clock. You're back to Nordalus, Donzanti. The far wing, trying to get around, using the Euro step, getting through Rowan defenders. That one's up and no good as we approach 2 minutes left to go. As a rebound by Peters. She took it coast to coast, missed her first initial shot, and got her second shot blocked. Still a 2-point game. Collins gets it up as they finally get it through with a second to spare. On the clock, almost a backcourt violation. As Donzanti goes to the rim, could not get the friendly ball. That was scary. I saw your head movement and thinking, man, that would have not been a good play for the profs, as that could have potentially tied up the ballgame.
Yeah, that would have been scary if you're the profs. And I've noticed from Donzanti, she's very crafty. She has very good with her Euro step, and she's good at getting to the basket and drawing contact, especially leaning into the defenders and get them in foul trouble. She misses the first free throw there.
Not a good third quarter. 1 for 10. 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. 2 for 4 from the free throw line, as now it's a 2-point game. 1:40 left to go with the made free throw.
And I want to give some props to Stockton right now. They really came out of that first half and buckled down on defense coming out. They knew it was a 10-point game. They knew they were going to have to get some stops. They know they're not the most explosive offensive team, so getting those stops is very important.
Brown will take it up. Brown, Peters, Seitzma, Duverglass, and Byrne in. Duverglass in for the first time tonight.
Maybe you get some pick and pop going with with Duverglass.
As the ball goes right into the arms of a waiting Osprey, but getting double teamed now is DeLeo. Collins for 3. That one cannot rim in. Ball pops way out for the rebound, and it's gotten by Dominique Peters. Brown dribbling around a defender. What a move to get some space. Only the second field goal hit by the profs this quarter with a minute left. Get it almost inside, but quickly stolen away and got right back. And a steal down from Duverglass.
Duverglass coming in and making an impact right away.
On the offensive side, could not, but gets an offensive rebound and got fouled. So not only does it on the defensive side, but put up a shot, missed, got her own rebound, and put it up. Didn't make it, but we'll go to the line for 2.
And we spoke about fundamentals in the first half. What is your coach always telling you growing up? Always follow your shot. You always got to get that second chance points, and that's exactly what she did right there.
First one up from Duverglass, and that one's no good. Tough time at the line, just this game completely. Forget about the quarter.
We mentioned that's been the Achilles heel, like you said, in the first half. The free throw for the Profs has just not been good all season.
Makes it there. And right now, still at 50% for the quarter. As a steal by Peters in the backcourt. 3-on-2, up to Byrne. That one's good. Getting a couple of points to end the third quarter. Overall, though, not a very good one, as they're going to call Peters for a foul. As Coach Lascella is going over to Peters and said, no, that was a good. You did hit her.
This is good for the Profs, though. And in the quarter, a very, very, very rough start, but you want to build momentum heading into the fourth quarter, and that's exactly what they've done so far.
First one up and in for Nordalus. Nordalus, the 6'3" sophomore from Hawthorne, New Jersey, made a 5-point game. 15 seconds left. Over to Peters. It was from Duverglass. She drives the baseline. A kick to Brown on the outside corner, and goes right through her arms. Just a behind pass. There's nothing that Brown could do it. Brown's going one way, the ball's going the other.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. Not going to catch that ball when that's happening.
11.4 left in the third quarter. Profs up 5. As Peters swats it away. Took some time off the clock. That's why you do it. Might not be as much time as you really think, but could potentially be at the end of this quarter. Could be something.
Yeah, especially if you get a three-point shot at last second.
Took a few seconds off as now it's at 8. Seitzman was taken down. Collins looking around, finding inside as they almost got a block. Brown missed it as the Profs will end the third quarter with only a 3-point lead. Lascella not very happy on the no call as Seitzma went down late in the third quarter. But we are going to take a step off. We got a lot of exciting action coming up right here on Rowan Radio 89.7. WGLS FM. Profs 46, Stockton 43.
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else, and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
GLS FM, Joe Stoppenberg here alongside Brandon Herson. Greg Still, WGLS studio. Profs up 3. Last quarter of play. Fourth quarter starts. Brandon, what the Profs need to do to get a win?
You know, I want to start off by saying, if you would have told me this would have been a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter, I would have told you were crazy. But really, the Profs just need to score, you know? Not like Stockton was putting the ball in the basket too much. The Profs really just need to score, whether it's the 3-point ball, pick and roll, something. They just need to be more aggressive on the offensive side of the ball.
On the defensive side, they were aggressive. They forced a miss as Olivia Rowan throws up a 3. That one's no good. 9.5 left to go in the last quarter of play, 46-43. Rowan still has the lead. 3-pointer put up, tie ball game. Wow. Collins with it. Tremendous shot from Collins, a pull-up 3. ties things up. Johnson, Criley, Brown, Peters, and Rowan. Criley, mid-ranger, no good. Stockton can take the lead with this possession as Criley almost forced a steal. As he gave to Collins, eventually gets it. Miller to Collins for an easy 2 points. They look easy there, and Stockton has taken the lead, their first lead since the first quarter. Might not be how you start the game, but how you finish it. As they tried to give it inside to Johnson, Donzanti tried to save it. Could not, goes out of bounds right in front of their own bench.
And this will be a big win for head coach Devin Jefferson for Stockton. If he can pull off really an upset, especially a come-from-behind upset, it would be something.
As they're going to call an offensive foul, a push on, it says Duverglass, but she's not there as it's on Johnson, but quickly the Profs retake it. Peters getting some contact, putting it up. No foul, but the basket is good. All knotted up at 48. You get it over, and Peterson looking for it as Peters. That was a good call there. Peters was all in the way of Peterson trying to get that ball free. Miller, Peterson, Nordalus, Donzanti, and Collins in. Brown, Criley, Peters, Seitzman, Rowan. 3 by Collins, no good. Rebounded by Peters. What a way to fight for a rebound there on Peterson. Not an easy thing to do. Peters out to Criley, far corner. Criley passing to Brown. Brown thrown to the near corner to Rowan for 3. Instead, passing inside to Peters. She went up with it, got fouled, and going to the line for 2.
I think the Profs need to attempt a few more three-point shots here in this fourth quarter. Stockton's very strong inside, especially with Noodaloo's inside. 6'3", that's a great presence down low. So if you can get those wide-open three-point shots, especially when you have shooters like Byrne, like Brown, and like Rowan, that will get you back into the ball game, get the momentum going, just get some positive for this team.
Well, the 1-2 punch like Peterson and Nordalus, but Peterson will take a well-deserved rest as Dominique Peters 0 for 2 from the free throw line on that trip. You need to do that if you're starting to get back the lead as Nordalus goes right in, gets fouled by Rowan. A little bit of maybe a frustration foul there. But still early on, 3 fouls for Rowan, only 1 for Stockton here in this quarter.
That was the first time we really saw a successful roll from Noodaloo's inside, grabbing the ball and then trying to put it back up, but got fouled on the way up.
Interior defense has been there for Rowan. Last couple of trips and mostly for the whole entire game, but just Nordalus broke free there and made the first free throw. 1-point game, and they have the lead. We'll try to extend it with a made free throw here. She does. What an upset this would be. Still got plenty of time, though. 7:40 left to go. The final quarter of play. Things starting to heat up here as a reach in by Collins.
And as this game has gotten closer, you can see that the level of physiality, I can't even say that word.
Physicality, yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Has gotten a lot tougher as the game goes on. Blood's starting to get going. Close score.
You're baffled. You're losing your words because of the
I'm
the
just
way that
really
this game
shocked
is
right now.
rolling.
I'm shocked.
Brown uses the Euro step, but gave out to Seitzma. Quickly to Rowan and back to Brown at the high point. Hoffner in there, along with Criley, Seitzma, and Rowan as a mid-ranger. No good from Criley. Hoffner tried to put up a shot. Got denied. They're saying last touch by Stockton. I don't know. That was a very close one. It went right back to Jenna Hoffner. It looked like it went out of bounds, but off of with Nordalus. Brown lost it on the drive, stolen away by Nordalus. Donzanti. Profs down 2. Donzanti taking the screen from Nordalus. Over to Flournoy. Inside the Nordalus, back to Flournoy for 3. That one's no good. Prosper lucky to get a miss there. As Seitzma lost it on the pass from Hoffner to Collins. She's spotting up for 3. She got fouled.
Rowan cannot believe she just called for that three-pointer.
Somebody help Olivia Rowan and help pick her jaw up off the floor. And I didn't think that was a foul. I did see a little contact.
A little contact in, by the feet. Maybe, once again, not letting her. Yeah, was it enough, though? But like we said, it's an offensive game. It's good to lean in towards the favor of the offensive player.
Collins makes 1 of 3. Make it 2 of 3. Could make a perfect trip to the line with a made free throw here. 3 fouls for Rowan, and she's going to grab a seat on the bench. Collins 3 for 3. You did not want that at all.
Utter shock right now.
Still, once again, plenty of time left.
Plenty of time.
6.5 left to go in the final quarter of play. Seitzma get around, finds Byrne. Byrne got it stolen away right at the elbow. As Nordalus is looking for help. That looked like a walk by Nordalus. As she kept the pivot foot with one and then walked with the right. As a drop-off pass from Miller, right, trying to drive in, out to Flournoy, fade away, no good. I don't know why she decided to fade away on that one, as a pass too high for Alexis Criley by Brown. It looked like that trip was just very quick and just, they wanted to just run and gun on that one, but just it wasn't there.
Yeah, and if they're going to run and gun, they need to get turnovers, because that's when they're at their best, when they can create a turnover and then run the floor. Can't just take the ball from the inbounds and run it up the floor.
Big 3 could not be made for Miller. As Wright will take a seat on the bench. Stockton will line up. As whistle blows, they all spread out as quickly to the far wing, cross-court pass to Harris Scott. She had it and dropped off to Donzanti. They double-team Nordalus inside, having trouble as the pass a little too high for Miller. It tips off her hand and out of bounds.
Impressive as she still grabbed over 2 props defenders. That 6'3" height coming into play, but forced the pass on the double team, trying to get it to the other side of the court, just overthrew her.
Seitz might only be 5'10", but she plays so much bigger just because of her defense.
And she's a smart player too.
As they pass out to Seitzma, could not get the 3 as ball rolls out of bounds and going Stockton way. And, you know, comparing things to the NBA, the skill level is definitely not there, comparing-wise, but a TJ McConnell-esque with defense. You know, McConnell, not the biggest guy on the court, but somehow, some way, he finds his way into every single play, guarding big men, and plays great defense to stop, just like right there. Harris Scott goes in, and a block from Seitzma. And it looks like it might be...
Should be Prof's ball.
Showed right there. Great defense again coming from Kaylin Seitzma. And they're going to call a jump ball. Because I guess they weren't too sure about the call. Nevertheless, Rowan will end up with the possession, but now the possession arrow goes the other way, so the next jump ball might be the most crucial one just because it goes back to Stockton, as push will be called. Leave down on the low block on Harris Scott, her first.
Big possession here. You really want to get a score. You've been stuck at 48 for a little bit now. Want to get over that 50 mark.
As it's swung over to Brown. Brown taking a screen, passing out to Seitzma. They throw it inside, and the hole was quickly collapsed as they were trying to get it to Hoffner, stolen away by Harris Scott.
Stockton's defense inside has just been stellar all day, not allowing any baskets in the second half.
As Donzanti, a handoff pass to Peterson. Peterson going across court to Harris Scott. Brown played some great defense on Donzanti, but knocks the ball out of bounds. .4:15 left to go, 7 on the shot clock for the Ospreys. They have trouble getting it inside. As Donzanti inside the Flournoy, stolen away by Rowan and went right to the arms of Seitzma. She's leading the charge, but from behind. As Brown over to Rowan, thought about a three, might as well fire it, and that one's no good. Last touch by Stockton, excuse me, by Rowan. That ball went back and forth. That was like a pinball.
Yeah.
But very close with the call. Pass over to Peterson as they cross half court. 20 on the shot clock. Approaching 3:40 left to go in the last quarter of play. As a timeout will be called. That one was very close as Peterson was almost getting defended very close to that half court line. Almost
backcourt violation.
Just stepped in there. Yeah, 30-second timeout. We're going to keep things here.
It's a good timeout there, you know. Takes
you
away
have
from the
them.
turnover.
You have them. You might as well use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately for the Profs, they can't force a turnover, but one of the things, though, you have to look at, shot clock went down. Unfortunately, the game clock went down, but still, though, an opportunity for them to come up with no basket if they play good defense.
Yeah, and like we said, 3 minutes and 38 seconds left of this game. Plenty of time. It's only a 5-point game. Plenty of time for Profs to come back, especially if you can get a big three-pointer at some point in these upcoming sequences. I would really like them to attempt a few more three-pointers.
Obviously, in the beginning of the game, Olivia Rowan had the hot hand. Can she heat up once again will be the question. She's out there along with Byrne, Peters, Seitzma, and Brown. This has been out there right now, a key group. Interestingly enough, no Hoffner, no Johnson, no real big height, so very small lineup. The last couple of minutes as 2 on the shot clock. Donzanti throws up a Hail Mary shot, but it's quickly offended, rebounded by Harris Scott and taken away by Seitzma. Seitzma has it inside to Peters. Peters rolling around, getting they will not say the layup is good. Some of the men's basketball team members about to jump through their seats watching. I saw Matt Green was loving it. Unfortunately, the foul's on the floor. The layup did not count. Pass out to Peters on the baseline. The shot clock was reset as she drives it. Could not get the friendly rolling in. Donzanti trying to waste some clock, but also want to get a good possession here. To Harris Scott, back out to Donzanti. She calls out a play. Brown on her. They're going to play one-on-one. As the pass out to Harris Scott. Harris Scott driving in, now stopping at the free throw line and putting it in for 2. Clutch shot.
Big time bucket right there.
They need to get that one back as Brown looking around. They take the screen from Seitzma. She goes right as a block by Flournoy. Defensive presence there was shown.
And Brown comes up limping after getting her shot blocked, and that's exactly why Criley's going to check in.
2:10 left to go, 16 on the shot clock. The last quarter of play, 55-48. Going in, Harris. Scott got her shot blocked. Kick out to Donzanti. They left an open three. It hits off the side of the backboard. Got to stop play for that one. They do. As Seitzma will inbound it with under 2 minutes left to go. Interestingly enough, though, the Profs have not taken a timeout here so far in this whole entire game.
Yeah.
Could you use one maybe now or soon just to regroup? Or do you want to let them play?
At this point, I almost want to let them play because not that much time left. They need to make some things happen.
As almost taken away, it was actually a quick steal by Collins. Got right back by the Profs. Dominique Peters puts it in for two. The full court press is really going to be key here. Can't allow anything up front just like that pass. They get it up. Collins has it, thought about a three. And a very dangerous there if they would have shot it and possibly made it. 5-point game, minute 20 left. 13 on the shot clock. Donzanti, great defense by Peters as they kick out to Miller for three. Airballed as Seitzma has full possession. Quickly getting across, pass out to Rowan, gave back to Seitzma. Inside the Peters, put it in for two. Taking over now the game is Dominique Peters for the process. They try to get it back. 26 on the shot clock. Peterson having some trouble getting across. Everybody wants a walk called as an open Collins. He's going to wait it out. Thought about a three. It's the 3-point game. 45 seconds left in the final quarter of play. Donzanti looking around. Peters on her. 9 on the shot clock as a poke away by Peters goes out of bounds. That was a great play. It was a very close one too, because of the fact that that foul would have put right in, put them right into the bonus. So when I got 2 free throws at the line.
Made it a 2-possession game right there, so kind of dangerous, but if you get the steal there, it's well worth it.
Profs can't foul here no matter what. Miller looking around, 5 on the shot clock. Donzanti all the way back. She's gonna give to Nordalus. Can't roll around and in. Shot clock's unplugged. Call timeout. They are not. Dominique Peters is gonna roll in. Could not get the friendly roll. They got the offensive rebound. Ball roll out of bounds on Stockton. A timeout is called. It'll be a full timeout. 20.4 left on the clock. The final quarter of play. Brandon, buckle your seatbelt, man.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I'm ready to jump at any moment.
A lot of great play, a lot of great defense the last couple of possessions. You have to look at the poke away from Dominique Peters that really kind of set, well, not set everything in motion because they really didn't set anything, but it stopped possession, it stopped the play with about 37 seconds left. It made Stockton regroup a little bit.
Had to inbound the play.
And then Donzanti was basically at the Profs logo with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Gave Nordalus the ball inside, and she had to throw up a little hook shot that I don't think she's really used to being made. She gave the ball back right to the Profs, and another chance, and here's where we are after a miss by Peters, and the ball was hit out by the Ospreys. Gives them an opportunity with the shot clock unplugged, down by 3, 20.4. It's going to be interesting to see if they go for the 3 right away, or you go for the 2 right away, and then hope for a steal or after a foul and a couple of misses. But here we are, underneath the basket. Byrne out to Criley for 3! No good, as they could not tie the ball game up. Donzanti with the rebound. And that was an open 3. Criley could not get it through. Man, what a play design, though.
Yeah, what a great play design by Coach Lasella right there. Wow. And not only was Criley open, but you also had Byrne wide open in the corner. So either way, great play drawn up by Lasella.
That play blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, just going over the screens.
A lot of just moving parts, too, especially late in this game as Donzanti hits a clutch free throw. Profs down 4 with 15 and a half left to go.
Donzanti, a 66% shooter on the year.
As she makes it there, Rowan's going to call another timeout. Now we're down 5 with 15 left.
At this point, you might need to take a 3 here.
Just to at least stay in it.
Yeah.
Make it 2 points. And then you got to foul and hope for at least 1 miss on the other end. But you got to, this next play by Rowan has to be quick.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It has to be just like that play that Coach Lasella drew up. Obviously, you don't want to make it the same play because they know exactly what you want to do there.
You know, and actually, I'm not sure. I would almost draw the same play. Stockton had no clue what was coming on that last play, so you maybe could see them try it again, and maybe this time pass to Byrne in the corner, who is the better three-point shooter. But Coach Lasella has a lot of tricks up her book, so it'll be interesting to see.
Right now, first in the NJAC, not only with the Profs, but individual as well with Nicole Byrne. First in three-point percentage for the NJAC. Byrne will inbound. Couple of screens to give Peters the ball. Peters, still with shot clock unplugged. Give it to Seitzma, back out to Peters. Three-pointer, no good, hits off rim. As they foul on Donzanti. That'll more likely do it.
Yeah, I mean, unless you get him 2 misses here in a half-court, shot, it's most likely over. And a very disappointing loss if you're the Profs, especially coming into a game when you're facing a Stockton team. They're 5-15 overall, 2-11 in the conference. You just can't lose games like this.
I think we know exactly what to pin this on, as the first free throw is netted by Donzanti. That third quarter, that the lid just did not get off the bucket.
Yeah, just an offensive collapse. It's really...
As a miss by Donzanti, rebounded by Peters. Rowan will call timeout.
And Stockton really buckled down on defense. They were not allowing any baskets inside, and for some reason the Profs did not take too many three-point shots in the second half, and really a strong suit of their team.
They're going to need to improve and shoot a couple of three-pointers to get back into this one. 5.5 left to go. Profs are going to need a quick play.
Very quick play.
As soon as you get it in, it's going to have to be a catch and shoot to whoever it is.
Yeah.
And right now, I think anybody on that court right now can really swish it through with a drop of the hat.
Maybe a screen for Rowan. She can get open.
She does take the screen from Seitzma, doesn't get her open. Gets Peters open as a kick to Criley. Throws it around, gives to Seitzma as the ball rolls out of bounds. 0.6 left on the clock. Oh, it's going to close the book on Rowan. It's actually going to be out of bounds on Stockton as Byrne will inbound it. Give to Peters. Peters will fire away from 3. That one hits off the side of the backboard. And that's the game. Rowan having a 10-point lead at halftime. The third quarter is where Rowan loses by a final score of 58-52.
Just really, really shocked right now.